all of that kind of, my childhood trauma and your childhood trauma and everybody else's, everybody who comes to me, the basic premise behind their trauma and their addiction is sometime during their formative years, they weren't seen, they weren't heard, they weren't acknowledged, and they weren't respected. And when you
Mm.
live in an environment like that, you have to adapt your behaviors to be seen, to be heard, to be acknowledged. And those adaptations are invariably inauthentic. So we don't know who we are eventually. We become the roles we're playing. So Bob's my traumatized inner child, and he comes up because this lady has rejected me in that moment. What happened was she slammed the change down, turned her back on me, and then I said the words, "Thank you very much." And I felt instantly that rejection, not feeling good enough. It felt like a knife had been put into my heart and slashed around. My response in that moment is, whoa, I feel angry. Whoa, my inner traumatized child has been triggered.
Mm.
How can I look after that part of me in the moment? What do I need to do to parent that part of me rather than go out on a crack binge? And so I chose to go for a cup of coffee, got a bit of lemon drizzle cake, sat down for 20 minutes, and essentially parented the part of me in pain. I actually compassionately responded to the part of me that was suffering. I learned to parent myself. And I think this is what ibogaine does. What it does is gives you the tools to be able to parent yourself correctly. Because the reality is that most of us who end up in addiction or end up in pain in some sort of way, it's because we weren't seen and we weren't heard and we weren't acknowledged when we were younger. At the end of the day, you know, I always feel that addiction can be defined in this simple statement. It is self-medicating against a profound sense of inauthenticity. The addiction is not the problem. The inauthenticity is the problem. The addiction is a very, very cack-handed um, effort at trying to medicate that inauthenticity, to try and deal with it.